We love you. And we want to keep you, you know. We want you to stay how we do, you know. But we know you have to go. Selector, we are about to introduce Jamaica's finest and greatest Prime Minister. Crime is down. Unemployment is down. The country is doing well under this Prime Minister. I want to say one thing to you. I find that when things go bad, we behave as though we take it up and we break it. But when things going good, people act like it's just happening on its own. It is not. It is happening due to the work of our Prime Minister and our ministers of government. This government, this Prime Minister, our MPs love your labor rights. They love you. And you see, just like how they love you, I want when the Prime Minister, Ambassador, welcome to St. James. I want when the election is called, you reciprocate that love. You load every taxi, you load every bus, and get them to the polling station to reinstate our Member of Parliament for the third term, Marlene Malahou Force. Labor rights. At this time, I would like you all to be upstanding. So welcome to the platform, Jamaica's Prime Minister for the third term, Dr. Michael Andrew Holness.
Jamaica Labour Party.
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Let me once again compliment you. Big up yourself. You look very good. And assembled in this room is a representative cross-section of Jamaica. Jamaicans of every walk of life is here. And for the audience watching via live stream, you should know that there is a similar, if not larger, crowd outside, watching on a big screen. And I want to big up those persons on the outside. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your dedication, love, and loyalty. Let me say that it has been said that the people love me. And I have no doubt that I am loved by the people. I don't think I'm a difficult person to love. Because like Marlena said, you know, I'm a lover, not a hater. But don't mistake my loving and kind character for weakness, because I am also a fighter. And you know me, I rope a dope. I take the hits, I roll with the punches, because I have a strong constitution. Some of the licks that have been placed on me, a man of weaker means would have fallen. But I remain standing upright, strong, and ready. And my strength doesn't come from me. it is not of me. When the heathens come to slay, I call upon the shield of the Lord. I call upon the praying Jamaicans. I call upon the well-thinking Jamaicans. I call upon the reasonable people. And they have always answered. And I give God thanks, and I give the people of Jamaica thanks. The bigger point, my friends, the bigger point is that I love the people. The bigger point is that I stand here not on my own means and not for my own aggrandizement. There are no more titles for me to gain. Really, this is about service. I do this because I care about the people. I stand before you seeking your support, not for the third term, but to allow us to continue to carry the mission which we have started, the transformation which has begun to carry it through to fruition. I stand here before you, ready, fit, strong, and able to carry that mission through to its completion. A mission which, for many, because of a way of thinking, they refuse to acknowledge it. And that is one of the characteristics of something called a bad mind. Now, friends, I want you to think about it very carefully, because we have made a colloquial saying out of bad mindism. And we all know what we mean when we say people have a bad mind. Them grudgeful, them envious, them negative, them lie, them always looking for the worst. They're deceptive, bad mind. But the ultimate characterization of the bad mind is that they don't like to see prosperity. They don't like to see people prosper. They don't like to see things going well. Now, I want you to just think about it. Think about it carefully. How do you tackle a government that has managed to bring down one of the most intractable problems that has faced this country for the last 50 years? I want you to just think about it. When I toured this constituency, just before the 2016 general election, I toured Mount Salem. And I was gripped by the level of fear in the community. When I entered the community, a small group came out to meet me. And as I walked down the lane, I could see people just pushing their heads through their window to look, afraid to come out. Afraid. I took away from that experience that Jamaicans should not live like that. You shouldn't be afraid to come out of your yard. You're coming home from church, and you have to call first to say, everything all right in the community, otherwise we go sleep, we have a church sister yard. No, we shouldn't live like that. And so I made a presentation which was very aspirational. Bad mind people don't like to hear people aspire. And I say to all who are gathered here, never be afraid to aspire. To raise your head to the sky, look to the Lord and look for the best in life. Never be afraid to think big, to vision big. Don't be afraid of prosperity. Don't be afraid to create wealth, because we don't bad mind people for where they are, because we know that we have the capacity as well. So I said to the people of Jamaica, do not be afraid to think that one day you can sleep with your windows and doors open in this country. Never be afraid to wish and dream and think and pray. It can be done. And I went back and we sat down with the team. And we said, how are we going to do this? Your member of parliament was then our Attorney General. And I came up with this idea that we needed to create zones of special operations, geographical areas where we ascribe certain powers to our security forces to allow them to conduct certain types of operations to keep the crime in those areas down. Your member of parliament, the then commissioner of police, the then my national security advisor at the time, Major General Anderson, who became commissioner of police after, we crafted a legislation called the Zones of Special Operations. And the first place we implemented that was Mount Salem. We implemented as well a plan to use states of public emergency. And those strategies, along with the long-term strategies of investing in our police, and I want you to understand, when you listen to this figure carefully, because you are going to have to go and explain to the other people that you interact with who don't understand, that prior to 2016, the government of Jamaica, on average, would spend $3 billion on the capital budget for national security. $3 billion overall. And at some point, the capital budget was zero. They never spent anything of significance on cars or communication equipment or kits. Since we became the government in 2016, we tripled the amount of money we spend on national security. So on average, we spend $9 billion every year on national security. So the reduction that you're seeing now, it didn't happen overnight or by chance. Now, how do bad mind people try to counter this now? The first thing they say is that it has nothing to do with the government. In other words, their argument is that leadership does not matter. But yet, they say, make us the leaders because we will do better. In other words, they are saying that leadership matters. So the typical thing about badminism and PNPism is that they are hypocrites. Hypocritical. So we increase the expenditure along with our long-term strategies and some of the short-term strategies. On my arrival here, I received a report from the local police, and I commend them. They are doing an excellent job. And the report was there was one murder in the entire parish of St. James. One. Coming from over 100 a few years ago. We are moving closer to that aspiration of a peaceful country where you can sleep with your windows and door open. Never be afraid to hope and dream and have faith and confidence that we as a people are competent, we as a people are peaceful, and we can achieve peace in Jamaica. Never be afraid of that. Peace is within us. Peace is within us. This violence that has taken us over is not the definition of us. And for those of you who are gathered here who follow the political process, you follow it because you want to see your country become peaceful again. And you are the people who will make it happen. Take pride in yourself and your support for your government, because you are going to make it happen. What we thought could not happen is materializing, coming to reality before your very eyes. But bad mind people, they can't acknowledge it. Think about it. To the point where some of them don't even print it. But make it was going the other way, and it would be the biggest headline. So, my friends, your political organization is moving us closer to the reality of peace. Right now, we are 43.8% below where we were last year this time. We are 65% lower in the month of May as it relates to murders than we were May last year. For the entire island, 47 Jamaicans were murdered, and that is too high. The intention is to what? Bring it down to 0. If we can move to 1 in St. James, we can bring the murders down right across the entire island. It is possible. I use this point to bring you to another point. And the point I want to make to you is that We have been in the wilderness as a country for a very long time. We have been struggling for a very long time. Water, roads, hospital, school, transportation, garbage collection, you name it. Poverty, the markets. And when you are in the struggle, even if there is transformation taking place, meaning even if things are getting better, you can lose patience. And you can lose hope. And you can lose faith. And so, government, especially if you're achieving and you're doing well, governments have to constantly place the achievements in front of the people. Even if there are those who would want to reject them. But not only that, we have to give you hope and show you what more is to come, how better things are going to be. The opposition is going to point you to the bottom of the glass to show you how bad things are, to say things are not getting better. In other words, there is a battle for your minds. One is going to be negative, and the government is going to be positive. Now, what do we know about nature, about life? So a man thinketh. If listen, the word is powerful. We have a pastor here who came and prayed. The word is not wind, The word is energy. And if you speak negative things, it will materialize. So I don't talk negative about anybody, and I don't wish bad on people because I don't have a bad mind. And that is why it puzzles a lot of people that I don't get into any argument. I just keep saying the good things that we have done. Where we have fallen down, we acknowledge and commit to do better. But we will not be distracted by the negative, by the lies, by the falsification, by the manufactured crises that the PNP is trying to push in your attention. Our party will continue a positive message, and our party will continue to be focused on the good, on our achievements. So I say to all Jamaicans who have concerns right now, as I toured parts of Clarendon and St. Catherine on Friday, and some persons confronted me about their water. They don't have any water. But it was very instructive, because as a lady came up to me, and she knew herself in a little community, I believe it's called Shady Grove, she said to me, "Prime Minister, we don't have no water." I said, "I understand." And she volunteered, "I have been living here for 14 years now, and we don't have no water." 14 years. But that community has not had water since it was settled. And there are many communities like that. But as I visited another community in an even more remote area called Maho Hill in northern Clarendon, And as I was handing over one of the social housing, a pipe behind me just erupted, burst, because they got water a few months ago and the water pressure is so high. They didn't have water before. Point I'm making to you is that if you believe that nobody having water, and one person come out and say, me not have no water, then you see that as the truth, as the reinforcement of what you think. But that is not the accurate picture. Minister Samuda can tell you that almost every week we are turning on a water system somewhere in Jamaica, and we have 50 more water systems to turn on right across Jamaica. We are the government that is consistently, day by day, week by week, transforming Jamaica in real and tangible ways, bringing water to communities that never had them for 50 years. It is this administration that is making the transformation. It can't happen overnight. It's not a snap of the finger, but you can rest assured that your community will be reached. Have faith. The Bible tells us what is faith. Hebrews 11 verse 1. Now faith is the substance of things. We are hoping for our water. We are hoping for crime to reduce. We are hoping for poverty to be reduced. We are hoping for our roads to get fixed. Substance of it. But what else is it? It is the substance of it. But what else? Evidence of unity. But the crime is going down in a significant way. That is evidence of the prosperity to come. Hold the faith, keep the faith. The Spark program is repairing 2 roads right now in every constituency, 10 before the end of the year. Massive transformation. The REACH program is patching out almost every pothole right across the country. Yes, you're frustrated now, but hold the faith, hold the faith. Your road is going to be fixed. Because the evidence of the work is there. The evidence is there. Yes, mama, you quarrel and you bawl. I am not on the PATH program. I am poor. But the evidence is there. The poverty rate cut in half, meaning that the people who are considered absolutely poor because they consume less than $290,000 a month, that number cut in half. More people consuming above that now. So the evidence of the government's policy in reducing poverty is there. Hold the faith, hold the faith. Now when bad mind don't work, because the list of achievements are so great. You know, in any other country, this government with the list of achievement would not need to campaign. In any other country. Because the achievements are so significant. But I want you to bear in mind what I said earlier. You know, I don't consider myself too much an academic. I'm a practical person. But I do dabble and think about things very deeply. And Jamaica if you were to ask somebody, what would most Jamaicans prefer? Would most Jamaicans prefer a meritocracy, meaning a system where you only get what you put in, what you merit? Or would you prefer an equitable system, meaning that even if you didn't put in, but there is some justice that you should get some support? And most Jamaicans would say we want an equitable system. And I believe that we must have, yes, an equitable system. And you know why I believe that? Because when the country of Jamaica was formed, the state of Jamaica was formed, the mass of the people were deprived. They didn't have any endowment. And some people have everything, and the mass have nothing. So my political philosophy is that we must do everything to make sure that everybody can rise, that everybody gets something. That's how I believe. And that is what I have dedicated my life and every muscle in my body and every cell in my brain to achieve an equitable Jamaica where everybody can prosper. That is it. That is it. Now, if you can't tackle achievements and you can't tackle the fundamental that the government is fear, if you can't tackle policy, then what you start to tackle? What you start to attack? You start to attack people. And we have seen a dangerous trend emerging. And we have a dangerous trend emerging where people who are giving stellar public service, people who have achieved, they are being hauled into the political. As I said, my constituency, I rope a dope. Yeah, I take the lick and I move and I go again. But believe me, punch is coming. So you keep your guard up. You keep your guard up. You protect yourself and you move and you keep moving. You keep moving. Now, you know, I have seen several instances where people who have given stellar public service has been hauled into the political arena and their character assassinated, their integrity trampled. And you can only conclude is that they do so because they have bad mind. But you have to understand what we're dealing with. The PNP believes that they have a title for Jamaica. They believe they own Jamaica and all its institutions. They believe that they must be in control of all institutions of Jamaica. And they say, well, the JLP might be in government, but the PNP is always in power. That is what a PNP tell me. That gives you an insight into how they think and how far they will go to corrupt the institutions of government to maintain the power that they believe they have over this country. I know what I am saying is irking some of them. They are screaming in their seat right now. But I will talk the truth to the Jamaican people as I have always done. And what I am saying is not a lie. It is not of my own making. This is substantiated by fact. For those who are quick to criticize, just go and read your history and look up something called the Pickersgill Committee and why that was set up. I see some people asking, what is that? It's a simple thing. Go on Google. Better yet, just type that into ChatGPT. Yes, man, it's the information age. Don't take what I said. Yeah, man, go and study it. Get the knowledge, man. That is how they think. That is their philosophy. I share the part briefly. A man come to me one time with a book. He wrote a book, and I don't want to go into too much detail. But in the book, I was then leader of the opposition, and in the book, he was trying to put forward this view that, Bustamante should never have led Jamaica as Prime Minister. That it was the PNP that was established to be the state authority. And because Buster decided that he would form his own political party, he was of the view that Buster betrayed some kind of understanding. That's how they think. And so it's not a surprise to me, because it is their DNA that they will go to any lengths to destroy people who they believe that they have no control over the institutions that they are appointed to run. Any lengths, including to try to bully the government, to break the rules of appointment to suit them. Processes that are well established, that are not in any way questioned, but they come to give the government an ultimatum, to bully the government into their action. How hypocritical, how rich. Well, I pray to God to continue to keep me and the Jamaica Labour Party firm and strong. I pray to God to give me the energy we need to keep Jamaica and our people firm and strong. Now, I hear that they are going to have protests for manufactured rage and crises that don't exist. Well, I want every Labourite to protest against this hypocrisy tomorrow. I want every Labourite, wherever you are, to protest in your workplace, to protest in the market, to protest wherever you are of the bad mindism of the PNP that is trying to bring down the progress of the people. Stand up, Labourites. Stand up for justice. Stand up for truth. Stand up against the PNP. There was a time when the playbook of the PNP used to make Labourites afraid. Is a different Labourite you're looking on today. Labourites are proud of their party. There was a time when the PNP used to appeal to something called nationalism, and they could influence well-thinking Jamaicans. But you know what? There are more Jamaicans who are in the middle. They are observing. They are not really wedded to anything politically, but they are more rational. They are more looking for who can deliver results. They are results oriented. Because they have heard all the arguments before. They have heard the promises before. And so what it comes down to, who can make it better for me? Who can make it better for my country? And you can come with promises, good intentions, but you know where is paved with good intentions. A lot of people are smart about that. So what they do, they look on track record. And which political organization has the track record of delivering the benefits for the people of Jamaica? It is those people who are smart because they know that the future is the result of choices made now. The future, my friends, is not a mystery. The future is not waiting to happen. The future happens every time you make a decision now. And you have some decisions to make. Both my family here and my family listening and my entire Jamaican family. Each and every one of you, you have a decision to make today about what your future is likely to be. And I say to you, choose wisely. Choose rationally. Don't choose bad mind. I urge you to choose Jamaica. I urge you, the good people of West Central St. James, to choose Marlene Malahuford.
Labour right.
And I urge all Jamaicans to choose the Jamaica Labour Party. God bless you. Love you.